How's it going, gents? Here we are in Nerbs' man cave of motorbike storage right now. We are preparing for a gigantic trip, the biggest trip we've ever done. Here's some of the old trips. I think that was the first Simpson one in red that we tried and failed. And then the yellow one is our successful Simpson trip. And then this was our big Cape York trip where we started in Cairns, went all the way up to the top of Australia, and then we came back down, and that's where the helicopter had to get me, that little offshoot there, and then the Flame Ute drove me all the way back down. We're going to do a bigger trip than all of these, 11,000 kilometers all the way. We're not flying up to Cairns or whatever, we're gonna ride all the way up there, so we'll go over where we're going. Here we go. Where are we going, Nerb?
So we're going to go a slightly different route this time. We're going to go up through Swan Hill.
Yep.
Up through Mungo.
Bloody Mungo.
Up to Menindee.
Yep.
And then across to Broken Hill to Silverton, see our Mad Max museum, because there is a new Mad Max film coming out soon. Did you know that? Down to Yunta.
Yep, Yunta, good place.
The back way in through to, I know, the Flinders there.
Oh, we're going Flinders Ranges first.
Yeah, we're going through the Flinders.
Yep.
Then we're going, from the Flinders, basically, we're just going straight up the Unadada.
Yep.
Up to the Fink Desert Race.
Watch the race, yep.
Watch a bit of the race. Then we're coming from Fink out through here across, hang on, where's
There's Rock, yep.
So we're coming through these back roads here. Mulga Park up to Curtin Springs.
Yep.
Look at Ayers Rock.
Yep.
Back through here through the Fink River Gorge up to Hermansburg. Around through Alice Springs. Out here somewhere there's a bit of the Bins track or something through here. Out to Jervois.
It's French.
Yeah, it's French. Down the Hay River track to Popal.
Yep.
Across that part of the Simpson, the fun part of the Simpson. Then up through the back roads here to Diamantia Lakes.
Yep.
Then up through Min Min. We'll try and see if we see any Min Min lights. It's in here somewhere. Up through Duchess, Mount Isa, up to Adele's Grove, where we've been before.
Yeah, the weird place.
Similar bit that we've done before, but then basically across through past Mount Surprise, through some back roads here, Valley of Lagoons, out to Townsville, then back down the coast, pretty much.
All the way back down. That is a big trip. I'm taking the WR250R. She has been refreshed. Nerb is just putting the chain on. I don't know how to do chains, so Nerb's doing the chain for me. But I've just changed. Brand new tank, brand new XL wheels, new disc brakes, whole new exhaust. I got the O2 sensor back in. I didn't like the FMF programmer, so back to an O2 sensor. New head stem bearings, new swing arm bearings. It's had its first valve check. It was successful. It was all in spec at 40,000 Ks. New indicators, new lights, everything. It's all new chain, new sprockets. She's ready to go. This is Nick's bike. It has nothing new. He hasn't even washed it. And Nick isn't coming though. It's we've got two internationals coming over. One of them is taking this 701 and one of them is borrowing Nick's WR250R on the trip. Nerb will be there on his humble Tenere 700. We'll see how that goes. See if it's as reliable as his KTM that never failed him. Also, we have Mark coming on a Honda Africa Twin and Silas coming on a Husqvarna 701. So we're gonna have two 701s. What could possibly go wrong with the old 690 motor? The Africa Twin will be a big bike Mark's on, but it'll be reliable. We have some tires by MotoZ. So I've got new tires on my new wheels. And we've got a whole bunch here that Nerb's going to fit to all the bikes. So I've always run Dunlop D606s and I've always had good success with them. But we're going to try MotoZs. I've liked MotoZs on my 790. I've had them on a few other bikes. We'll see how these go for the trip. But yeah, that's our trip. I'll go through at home all the stuff I'm packing. I'll let Nerb finish the chain and continue on. Nerb's just angle grinding my brand new XL wheels. He made fun of me because I took him to a tyre shop to get the tyres fitted because I didn't want to mark my brand new shiny XL wheels. So he's just angle grinding them, make me feel bad.
You've got to mess them up a bit.
Mess them up. Battle scars. Here we are on WR Shakedown. Here's the new and improved, my humble WR. It's been refreshed. Got my backpack, helmet, and 5 bags on the bike. We'll go over what I did with the bike quickly. So probably the biggest thing, new XL wheels, SM Pro hubs. Got them made up for the bike. I have Moto Z tires that we're testing out on the trip. These are, we're going to see if these can last 11,000 kilometers. So I'm trying not to put too many Ks on them now. So I'm just doing a little trip. New tank with some cool graphics that I'll show a picture of the actual graphics. They have Riding with Tom in them. IMS 18-litre tank. New exhaust. I've removed the FMF programmer and FMF Mega Bomb header. They were cracked. My exhaust had no packing in it, and I really didn't like the FMF fuel programmer. It used to flame out on me all the time. So I've gone back to humble O2 sensor, stock header, and I've got the GYTR kind of option exhaust. What else have I got? I've got all new bearings, new swing arm bearings, head stem bearings, obviously new wheel bearings with new wheels. That is Brendan's swing arm. My swing arm was all eaten up from my chain because I've got the lowering link in it. I've had a lowering link on the WR for many years, and it's always put the geometry of the chain out, and it's always made my chain eat into my swing arm. Now when Brendogs' bike blew up, I bought his swing arm, so I always had a spare. So this is my swing arm after 8 years of the chain eating it. You can see the exposed needle bearings there. It was pretty shocking. I didn't actually know it was that bad until I got the swing arm off. You couldn't really see it very well, but now I have a freshie. Now Brendan did have a lowering link on his bike as well, and his did start getting eaten up as well. But when he had it off, we repaired it. So you can see there, I just TIG welded it. But his wasn't anywhere near as bad as mine, so I'm just repacking the bearings. So I've got a new swing arm from Brendan's Exploder bike. It's all fresh and ready to go. New discs, new brake fluid, coolant fluid. I got the valves checked. The bike's at 40,000 Ks, which is its first valve check, and she was all in spec. It was good to go. Didn't need to do anything. I put a quad lock wireless charger on it now. I used to just have the bike mount, but now I got the wireless charger. I fixed up my lights. My lights are all screwed, but now they should work. I'm gonna turn the bike on. Hang on. Now the lights will work perfectly. Ready for our trip. Bags. I've got still the same Wolfman front bags, Wolfman tank bag. You'll remember from my last trip, my Wolfman bag got in the burnt on the exhaust, so I had to get new bags. Wolfman don't make this style bag anymore. They make like a weird leathery kind of waterproof bag, which I really don't like anymore. So I've gone with the cheap stuff, the Rig Gear saddle bags. It's a little bit annoying to get them on. It's got this strap here, which I don't like. I think on the freeway, I'll have that strap kind of off and fold it down. The bags move a little bit, but on the freeway, it's fine. And then when we get into the rough stuff, then I'll strap it off, because I'm guessing I'm standing most of the time anyway. I've got my rotor packs, my Helinox Chair Zero, and an 8-litre fuel batter. I'll also buy in Alice Springs a 10-litre jerry can, and that should be enough fuel for our Simpson crossing. But yeah, let's open up the bags and see everything I've got. I might as well set up freaking camp, eh? Because it's getting really dark. So I've got a new sleeping bag. Every year we go into the desert and I'm always cold. I had a Cedar Summit Spark 3, which is rated to I think -4, which it actually gets that cold in the desert. Hang on, I need 2 hands of this. So here is the new sleeping bag. It is a Western Mountaineering. Is rated to -10. This is the Ultra, I think just the Ultra Light is what it's called. It's pretty expensive. I think it's like $800, but It's meant to be pretty gnarly warm, so we'll test that out tonight. It's going to be a cold one tonight. So that's really kind of all that fits in this bag. That sleeping bag is a bit bigger than my old one, so kind of the sleeping bag just fits in here, and then maybe some clothes. I had some food. I'm just going to do some pasta tonight. This pannier. So this is all the stuff that I'm going to take on a 28-day trip. So the bike's full pack. The only thing is, like, I don't have my GoPro and shit because, you know, riding out to here is just suburbia, so I didn't bring my GoPro. Warm socks for sleeping. I've got my mattress, pillow. Now, this trip is a bit different. So normally when we do a Simpson trip, it's like 8 to 10 days and it's just crossing the Simpson. So it's everything as light as possible. But this trip is 28 days and it's starting from cold Melbourne and going all the way up to warm far north Queensland. So I thought a bivvy's not going to be good when it's really warm and potentially raining and humid. The bivvy doesn't work. If you're just doing the Simpson, it's not going to rain. So a bivvy is fine. So I brought a tent this time, which is taking up a lot more room. It's the MacPack Twilight Bivvy. I'll show you when it's set up. But it's a great little tent. Still pretty light. Yeah, maybe only about twice as heavy as the bivvy, and maybe 2.5 times bigger. But I think that's about it in that pannier. Is just mattress, pillow, tent, and then in here I've got I think I've got tools, cooking gear. So my cook pot. It's just a little titanium cook stove. That's got my head torch in it as well. I don't actually bring any burners because we always have a campfire. There's only been literally one time we didn't have a campfire, and that was in Dalhousie Springs. So I just ate some freaking muesli bars. They're my snow gloves, which I wish I had them on because it was freaking freezing riding out here. That is basically all my tools, fuel pump, pretty much all my spares and tools, spare stuff for the GoPro stuff that's in there, all tools and shit in there. Also, I've got the spout for the fuel pump and tire levers. There's a tube in there and a clutch cable. Then to the next pannier. My tank bag just usually has water and the electronics in it, so for my phone and stuff. This other bag is got the water bladder for crossing the Simpson. And right now it's got 2 bottles of water. Not really much in there. And some straps, because I'm going to have to strap the bladders on there. But that's about it. And my backpack, which has just got alcohol in it currently. And some Crocs for wearing. That's it. That's pretty much all I'm going to take. Other some more clothes. Really not that many clothes. I'm going to buy clothes along the trip. Because I just don't want to carry lots of clothes. But that's pretty much all I'm taking for 28 days. I'm going to buy a jerry can, 10-litre jerry for when we cross the Simpson. I'll buy that along the way. And that's it. So let's set up the tent and we'll show you when the tent's set up. Alright, just as it's getting too dark, that's the MacPack Twilight Bivvy set up. A very small little tent. I just usually strap the back up to the back of the bike, and then it's got one pole, a couple of pegs, and she's ready to go. But it's getting very dark, so let's get a fire going and get some tinnies. Be nice up there. I reckon there's a good sunset that I'm missing. Damn. All right, found some wood. Not much. A couple sticks, but there's already a log there and a big log back there. So if I can just get it going, get that one going, that'll get that one going, and we're good all night. So just a couple of humble sticks. That's all I need. Fire's going, bike and tents all set up. We'll get some dinner going in a second. But for now, let's freaking crack open a Enduro tinny. Oh yeah. So that is pretty much it. The bike is ready to go. Just done the shakedown. My battery's dying, so I just bought a new lithium. Chuck this new lithium battery in there. A few other things I need to pack, but she is pretty much ready to go. Got to adjust the chain a little bit. It's brand new chain. I didn't lube it, which is a problem. It was quite noisy. I thought they came like pre-lubed, but it was very noisy. So I'll lube it up, adjust it. Other than that, she is ready to go, I reckon. nothing else to really do. So today's Wednesday, we leave on Sunday. I'll have a link for our location. We'll have, I've got a Garmin GPS tracker on my, got a Garmin InReach. That'll be sending out GPS pings to where I am. And you'll be able to track where we're going and ready to go. 500 can just sit there for a month while we're on the WR for the next 28 days. We'll see if these Motor Z, it's Tractionator Adventure on the back and a Tractionator DV on the front. We'll see how that goes. Sleeping bag was a great success. It was 2.2 degrees that night I was camping. The other night, 2.2 degrees. It's freezing in Melbourne right now. I've got like a polar, it's like snowing down to 1,000 meters. Is freezing. It was 2.2 degrees and that sleeping bag is amazing. It is fantastic. That Western Mountaineering sleeping bag, it is very, very, very good. So I'm excited. I should be very, very warm on this trip. And tent was great. Everything else was great. No dramas with any of my camping gear. I'm all happy with it. Yeah, ready to go. All luggage was good. I did do a little bit of off-roading, so I tested out the new bearings, new wheels, the luggage, everything was held on, so I think we're good. Ready to go. Let's see if it survives 11,000 kilometers and 28 days of riding a good chunk of Australia. I'm excited. What could possibly go wrong? Call the helicopter now. I'm getting attacked at my campsite. I'm getting attacked. Oh, hello.